Hi there. In today's video, we're going to be doing something slightly different than what we're used to seeing on this channel. I'll be giving you a behind the scenes sneak peek into my current recording setup, particularly my audio recording setup, which means I'll be showing you what equipment I currently use to capture audio, how I've set them up, things like numbers, dials, volume levels, and also how I edit the audio after the fact. So I'll be giving you the complete lowdown. This is coming as a result of comments and requests that I started to get as a byproduct of my recent videos. And some of you wanted to be able to see how I was able to achieve the kind of audio that you heard in those tutorials. So to fulfill that promise, here we are. Now, a quick disclaimer before I continue. Whatever it is I share in this video is largely my opinion and things that I've learned, picked up along the way. It is absolutely subject to change and improvement. So I'm basically showing you what works for me at the moment, and feel free to tweak it and adjust it to your own context. Now, this video is directed at those of you who are looking to get into content creation and maybe podcasting. So I've tried to make things as simple and as approachable as possible for you guys. That being said, we'll get started now. My current recording setup, believe it or not, is actually less than $100. For audio capture, I use the BM800 condenser microphone, which is around $30. The best part being that you're not just getting a mic. You'll often find it online as part of a recording kit, complete with a scissor arm, shock mount, pop filter, windscreen, just about everything you'll need to start recording. You might find it listed under some other brand name, but it's ultimately the BM800. It also comes with an XLR to 3.5mm cable, but there's something to note here. It may not work at all if you plug it directly into your computer's 3.5mm port, unless it's a powered port, usually at the back of your desktop CPU unit. You might get better performance from using a USB adapter, but in my experience, it also produced less than optimal results with low sensitivity and a hissing sound. Hi there, this is a test with a USB dongle. Though I suspect it's a problem with my USB adapter because I bought two so far. The first one works with the hissing sound you just heard, while the other doesn't work at all with the BM800, but it works just fine with an audio mixer. I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. This is where the USB audio interface comes in. An audio interface is a device that allows you to capture high-quality analog audio signals from your microphone and convert them to digital signals that can be read and edited on your computer. It can also work vice versa, sending audio from your computer to external monitors or headphones. Of course, you can make basic recordings with your computer mic because it comes with an inbuilt sound card that does the conversion. But more often than not, your internal sound card is not very powerful and cannot produce the studio level quality we all want. You can think of the audio interface as an external specialized sound card. The Behringer Euphoria UM2 audio interface is about affordable as can be at $45. It has a 48-volt phantom powered switch that allows it to drive and take full advantage of the BM800 condenser microphone. You can adjust the mic gain from the interface, essentially giving you control over the overall sensitivity of the mic and audio levels ever before touching your computer. To connect the microphone to the audio interface, you need an XLR male to female cable. In my case, I got the Vention XLR male to female cable, but you can use any other brand provided it is good quality and does the job without introducing noise. As for audio monitoring, while this is not vital for recording, it can be very convenient because you can hear yourself, or in more professional terms, monitor what audio is really coming through your audio interface without any latency or modifications. So this is the port where you would usually connect your studio monitor, speakers, or headphones. It's very likely you already have a standard pair of headphones with a 3.5mm jack for listening to music on your mobile device or computer. But since this is a 6.5mm input port for studio monitors, you need to get an adapter that will allow you to connect your standard headphone jack to the port. With that in place, you can easily listen to yourself and monitor the audio coming from your mic before it gets to the computer. This also makes it easy to troubleshoot problems if the final audio recording on your computer doesn't match the audio coming from the interface. I will list the items in the description below under recommended items so you can purchase them for yourself. If you purchase with those links, I'll get a small commission at no extra cost to you, but you'll be supporting this channel. Ultimately, you can get set up for quality recording with around $100. If you've got the budget for it though, you can opt instead for the Focusrite Scarlett Solo Studio Bundle. Now that's a mouthful. It might send you way beyond the $100 budget, around $270 last time I checked, but it is the best option I can recommend at that price point. It comes with a condenser microphone, audio interface, studio headphone monitors, mic stand, shock mount, the whole 9 yards. I'll say it's a very solid starting point too for your home recording studio. With all these items in place, you can proceed to connect them together, from mic to audio interface and audio interface to the computer's USB port. Next, we'll talk about setting up your computer for recording. Now, we'll adjust the audio settings on your computer to allow us to receive the audio coming through the interface. Generally, when working with the interface, you rarely have to install any drivers. It's mostly just plug and play, so you shouldn't have to do any installation. But we're going to have to make sure our audio settings are in line to help us take advantage of the audio interface. So you want to go to the taskbar and right click on the speakers icon and click sound. Then under the recording tab, you should see a list of recognized recording devices on your system. Now connect the audio interface to your computer via USB. I need to point out that in some cases, it matters which USB port you connect with. I use a Lenovo Legion Wi-Fi 40 and connecting to the rear USB port gives me much cleaner audio than if I connect to any of those at the sides of the laptop, so keep that in mind for troubleshooting purposes. You should see the USB audio interface now listed among the recording devices as USB audio codec. Yours might be named differently though. But there's a problem. At this point, there's still no sound coming from the mic regardless of the gain level on the interface. That's because there isn't enough power from the interface to drive the mic until we turn on phantom power. Now, the green levels indicator shows that we are getting sound from the interface, but we'll do some further tweaking. Double-click on the microphone to open the properties, and under the levels tab, set the audio levels to somewhere between 70 to 75. Any higher and you'll start getting audio distortions. You can experiment with it later when you have your setup going. Under the advanced tab, set the sample rate to 48,000 Hz, then click OK. Now, you need to open up your audio recording software like Audacity, which is free, GarageBand for Mac users, or Adobe Audition, whichever you prefer. Personally, I use Adobe Audition for audio recording and editing, or sometimes OBS for when I need to record both audio and video. For this video, I'll demonstrate with Adobe Audition. The first thing I like to do once I open Audition is to turn on meter input signal. With the moving bars, we can know whether the software is receiving any sound in the first place. If it is grayed out, it means Audition is set to listen to an inactive audio input. The next step is to make sure Audition is actually listening to the right audio input channel. Remember, the laptop has its own embedded mic, and the whole point of taking the trouble to set up an external mic is to not use the embedded mic. So go to Edit, Preferences, Audio Hardware. Set the input device to listen to the audio interface, in this case named USB audio codec. I also want to listen to my audio playback from the audio interface while I monitor it through the headphones. So I'll set the output also to USB audio codec. But if you don't have the audio monitor connected, it's best to leave it set to the default so you can listen through your laptop's audio output. Leave all other settings as they are and click OK. Now you should see the audio levels flash as you speak into the mic. This means the software is ready to record. At this point, you just need to listen through your headphones and adjust your distance from the mic to where you are comfortably able to speak without being too close or too far away from the mic. You also want to watch the audio levels as you speak normally. You know you're hitting a good level if the highest points of your speech rise to the yellow zone between -3 to -6 decibels. You don't want to constantly hit 0 decibels, otherwise you will most likely get distorted audio. So adjust the gain on your audio interface till you have a reasonable balance between a negligible noise floor and clear voice capture. In my case, I always set the gain to somewhere between the 12 o'clock and 11 o'clock position, never beyond 12 o'clock, otherwise I'll get more noise than I need for my use case. You can also adjust the audio level in the sounds control panel. For things like this, it is always infinitely better to get the best possible results from the start, which is why it's wise to invest in good audio recording equipment and acoustic treatment for your environment. This way, you get to do less work in post-processing and you get to focus more on enhancing the audio than repairing. It is easier to enhance good quality audio than it is to repair crappy audio. Also, people tend to notice if your videos have crappy audio combined with amazing visuals, but are more forgiving if your visuals are subpar with better quality audio. Here are some tips I've picked up along the way that you can keep in mind if you want to get consistently good audio recordings. Record in a quiet environment, which means you may need to shut the windows and turn off the AC for a while. Another problem you might encounter with recording is room reverb, which happens because the sound waves of your voice bounce off the flat surfaces like walls and desks and come back into the mic a few milliseconds after the original sound has gone forth. This gives the echo effect, which is the bane of recording. In such situations, it can be helpful to record in a closet where the hanging clothes can absorb the sound waves. Or if your setup is portable enough, go under a thick blanket. I suppose you have to make sacrifices for the good things. Connect to a noiseless audio port. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes the USB port you connect to might introduce a hissing sound. So you want to hunt around till you find a USB port that works noiselessly, preferably a powered USB port. Turn off all audio enhancement effects. This was a real source of frustration when I initially started to record on my new laptop. For some reason, the recorded audio came out muddy and not as clear as I was used to. After hours of troubleshooting, I finally found out that the laptop came with some audio enhancement apps, and I say that with air quotes. It all came back to normal after I disabled all extra effects and was able to get the raw, untouched sound from the mic. So, you want to check your computer to be sure, possibly your control panel or list of software, to be sure that there are no audio enhancements turned on. Depending on the nature of your performance, you might want to be wary of mouth noises. They are unintentional sounds that result as your tongue interacts with other parts of your mouth in order to produce speech. Mouth noises become more obvious as a side effect of getting closer to your mic. something that cannot be totally avoided if you are into quieter, more intimate sounding recordings. You might have to take the pains to delete them while editing, or train yourself to speak while minimizing the noises. But that's another day's talk. Now, this is largely subjective and you might find advice to the contrary, but in my experience, recording early in the morning while my vocal cords are still well rested seems to produce better results for my voiceovers. In the long run, you'll realize that it's always better to get your audio right while recording, so that it's at the very least presentable ever before you make any further enhancements in post. So in the next video, we'll take a look at how I edit my voiceovers. If you don't want to miss that, kindly hit the subscribe button and set the bell icon to all so you don't miss out on my next video. I can't wait to read your comments, so let me know if this video has helped you in any way or if you have questions. Thanks for watching.